If I were one of those in New York's 3rd District right now that the election is over, and I'm finding out all of these lies that you've told, not just one little lie or one little embellishment, these are blatant lies. My question is, do you have no shame? Do you have no shame in the people who are now, you're asking to trust you to go and be their voice for them, their families, and their kids in Washington?
Tulsi, I can say the same thing about the Democrats and the party. Look at Joe Biden. Joe Biden's been lying to the American people for 40 years. He's the president of the United States. Democrats resoundingly support him. Do they have no shame? I've made this very clear.
What about those Democrats? Does Tulsi have no shame for doing the same thing that she's accusing him of doing? I mean, we're looking at two frauds, one on the left and one on the right. The one on the left is particularly beautiful, which is unfortunate considering she's a woman that has no shame in her game. But the irony is not lost on me.
It's not about the Democratic Party, though. This is about your relationship, frankly, with the people who've entrusted you to go and fight for them. And I think one of the questions that really probably hits home to a lot of people is are you Jewish? We've got a letter that your campaign sent out earlier this year, which reads as follows. As a proud American Jew, I've been to Israel numerous times for educational, business, and leisurely trips. You said there in that letter that you are, quote, a proud American Jew. How do you explain that?
My heritage is Jewish. I've always identified as Jewish. I was raised a practicing Catholic. I think I've gone through this. Even I've not being raised a practicing Jew. I've always joked with friends and circles, even in the campaign.
This man thinks American conservatives are stupid. He's justifying calling himself a Jew by claiming that he used to always joke about being a Jew. He thinks that American conservatives are so stupid that they'll actually be like, oh, yeah, okay. Like, they think... This is like a parent coming up with a lame excuse about trying to explain Santa Claus, that he actually came down the chimney and delivered the gifts. The kind of lame ass, what happens is Santa Claus, he knows, like, whatever, just think about any lame thing a parent would say to explain Santa Claus to their kid. That's the level of his explanation that he's giving to American conservatives. Like, he got on Fox News and he thought American conservatives would be like, oh, okay. Right. There's nobody that hates American conservatives more than conservative influencers in the Republican Party and online.
I'd say, guys, I'm Jewish. Remember, I was raised Catholic. So, look, I understand everybody wants to nitpick at me. I'm going to reassure this once and for all. I'm not a facade. I'm not a persona. I have an extensive career that
His entire thing was a lie. And he just thinks he can just say, it's not. Don't believe your lying eyes. I wonder where he got this idea from. People who talk about Trump, Trump is not that big of a deal. Would somebody like this exist before Trump? Like, before Trump, would this guy have thought that he could do something like this and then get on Fox News and just say, I'm not a facade. I'm not, like, literally just say the opposite of the truth? Right.
I worked really hard to achieve, and I'm going to deliver from my experience because I remain committed in delivering results for the American people. I campaigned on inflation. I campaigned on crime. I campaigned on education. I campaigned on delivering resolve for the American people. That's what the people of the 3rd Congressional District heard me on and on as I campaigned. Now it's going to be incumbent upon me to deliver on those results, and I look forward to servicing and serving my district. I look forward to serving my people in my district to make sure that they see that this is what
looking for. The results that people are looking for are called into question when you tell blatant lies, not embellishments. And this is, I think, one of the biggest concerns, Congressman-elect, is that you don't really seem to be taking this seriously. You've apologized. You said you've made mistakes, but you've outright lied. A lie.
Ironically, I don't see Tulsi having the same kind of attitude about so many others in the Republican Party who have done this kind of thing or worse. Right? She plays dumb in those situations. In this situation, for some reason, she finds it convenient to go and all of a sudden, now she gets it all of a sudden. Right? She's not allowing him to wiggle around and dodge questions. And she's doing actually a pretty good interview. Interesting. Very interesting. The Democrats love Donald Trump. If you're caught up in their narrative, you think they hate him and they're out to get him. With all the evidence we've seen so far, if they were really out to get him, he'd probably be already in prison. But instead, they're dragging their feet, dancing around. Why? Donald Trump wins them elections. Donald Trump allows them to sit on their hands and do next to nothing and run on, we're better than Trump. Do you want Trump to be president? That is the reality. They love Donald Trump. But yet they will spend all this time attacking him and going after him and this and that, and he's a threat to democracy. Right? But it's all lies. Much like the lies of Ben Shapiro, Steven Crowder, and Tim Pool, who really don't care anything about the stuff they talk about. All this, oh, the liberals, this and woke culture and cancel culture, the Democrats and socialism, and oh, look what they're doing, they're too woke. Oh. How many views did I get in that video? Oh, 1 million views. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. They don't give a rat's ass about any of this stuff. They think that their audience is stupid. Just like Republicans think that their base is stupid. Right? These people are not with you. Right-wing influencers are not with you. Left-wing influencers are not with you. These are entertainers in a business that is focused on profit. How do they make profit? By playing with your emotions. If you're a right-winger, right-wingers love anti-liberal content. Oh, the liberals, this and CRT. Oh, the left has gone too far. Oh, look what they did with the M&Ms. Ben Shapiro thinks that conservatives in this country are stupid. He thinks they're too stupid to understand the game that he's playing. And he can keep feeding them all this, oh, CRT, this and that, and oh, look what they're doing. Oh, look at Biden. He's crazy. Look what he can barely speak. And I'm not a partisan. I've called out Trump in one video. Right now, George Santos just got elected. Big liar. Lied about being a Jew, lied about being gay, used to make $55,000 a year, and all of a sudden he's making $700,000 a year. A lot of conspiracy, like what's really going on? Who's funding him? Where is $700,000? Deep state! It's the deep state! Look at what they're doing! All right? He's getting paid off by billionaires and dark money. This is stuff that Tim Pool normally would love. Yet, crickets. Steven Crowder, he's a man of integrity, right? He was concerned about the election and, just asking questions. Oh, what about this thing and the ballots? And I don't know, right? But every single person, every single instance of actual voter fraud, you don't see it on his channel. He pretty much 100% only spoke about nonsense on social media that was lies. Right? People putting out, Sharpie Gate and all this kind of stuff. Oh, look at the wagon. What's in the wagon? Right? Because he's not anything more than an entertainer that's only focused on getting the most views. He has no integrity, just like his colleague Ben Shapiro and Tim Pool. These are some of the worst people in this country. And I say that because clearly by their actions, they do not care about this country. They don't care about their audience. They don't care about anything else but themselves and their money. George Santos, a complete fraud with major red flags, elected and possibly going to be able to take position in Congress based on 100% lies. Had this been a Democrat, you would see 1, 2, 3, 4 videos by these guys. This is not a difference of opinion. It's not a matter of Ben Shapiro and I disagree on ideology. right? I don't even know what Ben Shapiro's ideology is, or Steven Crowder, or Tim Pool, right? Or any of these YouTubers, whether right-wing, left-wing, because this is a toxic business where you play a part, whatever part brings you the most views and therefore money. So if you're on the left, but you feel like the best market is right-wing, and you get on YouTube and you, oh, the left is this and the Democrats that. Even if you don't believe anything you're saying, that is the business. I don't really see much of the reverse as a conservative pretending to be a liberal. Maybe you can comment below and let me know where you've seen that, but I don't see that. But if George Santos, if the scandal was that he was calling out the Republican Party for the frauds that they are, if he was going out there saying, you know, I want to change the Republican Party, all of this corruption and exposing the lies and scandals and just the corruption of the Republican Party. If he was saying that, we would see videos from Ben Shapiro, from Steven Crowder, from Tim Pool going after him. Oh, George Santos is not a real Republican. He's a rhino. Most of the time you see these liars going after Republicans is because the Republicans decide to not do the cult thing and go along with whatever the party's doing, right? Party's doing this thing, I'm going to do that thing because I can't think for myself. I'm an automaton. What are we doing? CRT. What are we doing? Walk, yeah, and the walk, stop. No, we're not doing walk anymore. We'll go back to CRT. Oh, yeah, CRT, this and that. Right? But dare you, if the narrative is CRT, dare you to say, I don't think CRT is what we're putting it out to be. I think the American people are more interested in inflation. They're more interested in how, healthcare, right? Dare you to go against the grain, then you're a rhino, right? The Republican Party is everybody's supposed to think alike. One monolith, right? We're all going in on Biden. We need to impeach Biden. Yes, impeach Biden. Well, I don't know if we should impeach Biden. Rhino! Right? That's the type of Republicans these guys go after. Or in their 2%, because that's the trick. 98% of your content going after the other, 2% going after your side. And you live off of that 2% for eternity. 98%, you have 1,000 videos going after the other, but because you have one video going after your side, nobody can say anything. He's a partisan, he's one side. No, there was that video he did back in 1985 before YouTube, where he called out his side. That left-wing guy, he's not partisan. He made a video once, 10 years ago, calling out Obama. Ben Shapiro, he's not one-sided. He once made a video saying that Trump is a buffoon. And I've heard him make several negative comments about Trump. Not so much videos going after Trump, but just mentions here and there at the end of long videos talking about other topics. But it's there if you look. An absolute fraud was elected to the Republican Party. And right-wing media didn't feel that this is newsworthy. Didn't feel that this is something to inform their audience about. This is how little Steven Crowder, Tim Pool, and Ben Shapiro care about their audience. They know that a lot of them are in an ideological bubble. They're mainly watching right-wing media. So if you're not talking about it, they're not going to know about it, many of them, right? And Ben Shapiro's okay with that. He's okay with you guys being ignorant. Right? He's okay with someone being elected as a total fraud and having power and some shady stuff. Like, where does money come from? Maybe he's being controlled by some dark money, whatever, infiltrated by, who knows? This is some dark stuff, the stuff that, Tim Pool certainly would love. They're okay with that. They're okay with a Manchurian candidate being elected into the Republican Party, and they're okay with suppressing that information from the audience. Even Fox News went after Santos. Ironically, with the Hawaiian beauty queen going in hard directly. In a one-on-one interview, she went in hard. This is yet another example that this false perception that, mainstream media is so bad and supposedly somehow independent media is better. Mainstream media is trash. Independent media in this country is mostly far worse. They take the same toxic business model you see in mainstream media and they crank it up even higher. And that is why, in this moment, you have Fox News, garbage Fox News, being one of the only ones going in on George Santos. Now, I'm going to guess that they don't have a video on their channel that's titled, George Santos is a liar, right? But they did technically do an interview and they called him out, so there's at least that. And I guess if you dig deep enough, these guys might have mentioned something about him somewhere in their long 2-hour live stream, or they might have put it on Twitter, but they ain't posting a video about it, which means they don't want you to know about it, and they're okay with it. They're okay with this fraud being elected to the Republican Party. It doesn't outrage them. The same way that M&M's or Dr. Seuss, right? That, having to wear masks. Oh my goodness, fascism, right? An absolute fraud being elected into our government based on complete lies and then insulting. You know what he said in an interview? He said, when they asked him to explain his business or whatever, he's like, well, he said basically like, the audience is not smart enough to even understand. So he's insulting them on Fox News, insulting conservatives, that they're too stupid to understand his explanation of what business, right? And he went on Fox News talking about, well, these are just embellishments and they're trying to make it out to be more. Like, he thinks that conservatives are so stupid that he could get on Fox News and that's his explanation. Oh, yeah, it's just a little embellishment and the media, and no one about the Democrats. He thought that such a bullshit argument would be enough for him to just slide on by and American conservatives just be like, well, it's, a lot of people lie in politics. He's not the only one that lies, There is no bar that is too low. It's all about opposing the other side. You could be a lying piece of trash, complete 100%, and it's okay as long as you're going to go against the other side. The right in this country have been completely captured by the Republican Party. The Republican Party can basically do whatever they want. They have a blank check. I don't mean that literally, obviously. But they can basically do whatever they want. And it's like, I'm going to give you this shit, and you're going to eat it, and you're going to love it. That's the Republican Party to American conservatives. I'm going to feed you shit, and you're going to love it. Because if you don't, those evil Democrats are going to be in power. You don't want that, do you? So eat up this shit, and you better thank me that I'm giving you this shit. Because you don't want the shit that those guys are going to give you. Those conservatives, those communists. You can lie, you can steal, you can do fraud, don't have to pay your taxes, right? You don't have to have any integrity. You can just say whatever, attack children. You can be associated with a child sex trafficker and have a record of like going after really, really, really young girls, young women to be accurate. And it's okay. You can win overwhelmingly. That's fine. Guy running for the Republican caught masturbating across from a school. Another guy charged with child porn. With the Democrats. This is what Ben Shapiro wants you to focus on. AI, bot, chat, something, avatar, characters, the last Republican sellout, right? Nancy Pelosi makes out with whatever. Like, this is how dumb Ben Shapiro thinks his audience is. Oh, Nancy Pelosi makes out with like his audience is just a bunch of children. That's what Ben Shapiro thinks. Just look at his actions. Look at what he's doing. This is what he thinks you guys want to. Oh, Karen. 1,000 words you can't say. What's Tim Pool talking about? Insane, ominous bill. Oh, the bill. I assume he had a similar video about the defense budget, which continues to explode. I assume he has got a video about how they failed yet another audit. They never pass an audit. So I'm sure he's really, really concerned about that. Right? Not just the omnibus bill. Right? Right. Twitter files. Grooming. Pelosi attack story gets even crazier. Okay. Steven Crowder. Crowder gives back. Wonder why he needs to be given back. Is he trying to do a PR thing? There are only two genders. Change my mind. Right. Steven Crowder, Ben Shapiro, and Tim Pool have zero integrity. They don't care about you. They don't care about this country. They only care about themselves. These are entertainers, and their whole point is maximizing views. They are okay with deceiving you, misleading you, giving you half-truths. They don't have to actually lie to you, just tell you the convenient facts and omit the inconvenient ones. It's all about the dollars. It's all about the money. Soulless creatures is what they are. No different than people like Brian Tyler Cohen or the Young Turks, who seem to have no problem with their race-baiting content leading to actual violence. That doesn't slow them down. They don't skip a beat. They just keep on trucking because it's all about those views. That's American media in 2022 in a nutshell. This is Baby Channel. Debate in the comment section below. Click on the like button, subscribe, smash that bell. Be well. Now let's go read the comment section where we have a bunch of Ben Shapiro, Steven Crowder, and Tim Pool apologists that are going to tell me how I'm wrong. Right.